Now, granted, that malignant tumor in her chest would have been a problem, but would she have died 2 hours after the shot? Sounds like a little more than a coincidence to me. We'll be taking your calls on the other side, 888-201-2244 or 512-646-1776. I am Jason Bermas. This is the Infowarrior. Back after this, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv. You know, that's why we can't be paranoid. That's why we can't live in fear. But we have to be smart. We have to read and see what's going on around us and stand up to the tyranny. And not start sucking our thumbs and getting into the fetal position and saying, I can't do anything, or just forgetting about it and saying, you know, the Yankees had the best season ever this year. Best season ever. Since 2002, it looks like they can win it all. And I'm doing it in a Southern accent, and most of you Southerners probably do hate the Yankees, but I'm a fan. But that's secondary. I didn't even get to see one Yankee game this year. Not one. I didn't get to watch one Yankee game this year. I'm hoping to catch some playoffs. I'll be honest with you. I really am. But if that interferes with my film Invisible Empire, if that interferes with this radio show, if that interferes with me knowing what's going on around me, the reality of the world around me, then to hell with baseball. You're not going to have baseball in 15, 20 years. But they'll always, let's be honest, they'll always keep the bread and circus and the sports there to keep the dumbed-down masses at bay, to keep them involved in everybody's batting average and how cool it is to have a sports fantasy team. Man, my fantasy football team is doing so good. I got to make some trades. And people will literally spend all weekend following their fantasy football players and making trades with one another like they're an actual manager, like they're the coach. And that's what they're absorbed by. They don't want to hear things like World Bank welcomes new economic order from the ashes of crisis. See, they always act as your savior. Out of the ashes of crisis will come a new world order. And here's the, I just can't make this stuff up. Here's the MSNBC article, U.S. economic decline forges new world order. We always told you they would blow out this economy in one of the steps to bring in world government. The crisis is redrawing the world map of economic power as the influence of the U.S. consumer spending declines and major emerging markets like China and India take the lead. Isn't that awesome? China and India are taking the lead. Meanwhile, we praise China. We love China so much that for the 60th anniversary of their communist regime, we light up the Empire State Building. Doesn't matter that they're having big rallies in China with 80,000 kids. 80,000 kids. I mean, this is just sick. They're sitting there talking about how they need to serve the state. China's communists marked 60 years in power with parade. With a parade, about 80,000 children in Tiananmen Square spelled out the Chinese characters for national celebration with red and gold placards to begin the celebration. Later, the placards read, obey the party's command and serve the people. Obey the party's command. Let's not question them. Let's not have dissent. Let's not see if the things they're pushing are morally corrupt. Just obey. Blindly obey your leaders. That's not what this country is about. That's not what humanity is about. And that's not what Jason Bermas is about. We're going to continue with news in a moment, but I'm going to start taking some calls right now. Let's go to Jason in Texas. Jason, you're on the line.
Yeah, Jason Bermas. I was just going to say good job on the show, and I like listening to you and Alex and stuff like that. I just wanted to bring something to your attention that I found a couple of days ago on this company that runs some of the voter machines here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if you all have heard about it. That this voting machine company has sold to a higher voting machine company, and now this company owns 3/4 of our voting machines.
And which company is this? Because I'm aware of Diebold and a couple of the other ones out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it is Diebold.
Sure
so Diebold is buying out the lower voting machine companies, is what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
So Diebold
is actually. Huh?
Go ahead.
Well, actually, Diebold has a Texas-based subsidiary, Premier Election Solutions Incorporated. And it's a bigger competitor. Election Systems and Software Incorporated of Omaha is buying them, and apparently this purchase has gone through, and some voter action people are rising up against it, and They brought it to one of their congressmen, and I guess one of their senators or something has handed it over to the Department of Justice to look into it. But apparently by this purchase, this company is pretty much has 3/4 of the voter machines. And there's also not even, from what I'm reading on an article, on actually several articles on the Internet about this, they don't even have any software in place to check for any kind of fraud.
Well, sir, so you know what? It's not enough for the American people to be bamboozled and have an election stolen in 2000. And then have Bev Harris write a book about it called Black Box Voting and have the same thing happen in 2004. And it's not enough that it's on HBO under Hacking Democracy by Bev Harris. You know, they did a documentary based on the book. We're just going to go 8 years later and let them consolidate even more power because we're suckers. Yeah, Diebold ain't good, folks. We'll be back after this, taking your call, going over the latest news.